What's going on? We are going to be talking about social issues in America with dating. They say young people, but um, I would say that as far as the news stories, they mention young people are um, reporting single. Men are reporting single more than women by like almost double. So I'm going to basically be reacting to a CNN video that I was just kind of like it was something that I was already thinking about talking about, but I was watching a video on a train coming back home. I wasn't in a train. I was in the train, but I was coming back from work on the train. I was watching this video and I want to talk about it. Also, I'm going to give my critique on the video as well. So this is definitely a fair use item. So let me share my video real quick, and I'm just gonna go right into it. So let's get right into this video here. This is why the rate of single men in the U.S. looking for dates has declined. Fair use.
By the way, the tax rate back then was 91%.
This is where I was at, but this started from the top.
Last week, I delved here into recent data from the CDC suggesting major problems with regard to the mental health of our adolescents, surges in depression and suicidal ideation, especially true for our girls. This week, I found cause to worry about young men. This headline from The Hill, it caught my eye. Most young men are single. Most young women are not. The story reported that as of 2022, Pew Research Center found 30% of U.S. adults are neither married, living with a partner, nor engaged in a committed relationship. Nearly half of all young adults are single. Now, look at these numbers.
All right. So these are the stats right here. Okay. So pretty much they're talking about 18 to 29-year-olds. So this is pretty much Generation Z and younger millennials at this point. Okay. So 63%. This is race basically this is not racially skewed. This is basically 63% of all men 18 to 29 are reporting single. Okay. And their counterparts, women 18 to 29. So that's Generation Z and Millennial is reporting that they are not single. I mean, well, that they are single. So not many women versus men are reporting that they are single. And you could pretty much say obvious reasons. Okay. Women have more of a potential to be in a relationship because relationships are sex based, right? So women have an easier time presenting their sexual access and receiving it from the other side from a man. And then that also a lot of women that are also in lesbian bisexual relationships, right? So sex to sell for a woman is easier, or even to offer is easier, versus men offering sex. Only a few men can actually offer sex to an extent where women are trying to beat their door down, the prison bays to whatever type of let's just say select man, young select man that women are choosing up on, those are the guys that mostly the women will gravitate towards. Anybody outside of that, if you don't have the game, pretty much, you don't you're just stuck in the dust as far as things. Now, also you got men that don't want to be in no relationship. Okay, you got young men that are up on game that they don't necessarily want to be in no relationship. I mean, it is really really bad out here. You know what I'm saying? As far as like, some men don't want to be involved with all of the back and forth drama when it comes to relationships. They, not really trying to be involved. And then you got some men that they having a problem trying to get involved. They really want to kind of get involved. I mean, you got a couple types of single men in this category. You got the ones that are single by choice, meaning they're still having sex, but they just choose to be not in a relationship and considered still kind of single, which to me, as an American that is kind of raised in a, let's just say, a non-traditional household, if you're not married, to me, everybody is single if you're not married. But in this country, if you're dating someone and you're having sex, it's weird. Like, you can still be considered single, but you're actually not single because you actually are with someone in a relationship. It's like whatever you want to say, really. Like, the survey is like kind of whatever you really want to say, because to me, if you're not married, by proxy, to me, you're still single. But it's some women that are claiming their dude that they're with, and then you got dudes that claim their girlfriend. But it can change. If Drake slide in the DM, they might be single. Or any other expletive person that they like that's a celebrity or has a blue check mark, whatever, they might be single. But I'll talk a little bit about that as well. But basically, yeah, most people that are of the age group, as far as men 18 to 29, is reporting single, compared to 34% of women that are in that same age group.
34% of women, twice as many, a whopping 63% of men. What explains that? I pulled the Pew study and I read with interest. Turns out since 2019, the share of single men who say they're looking for dates or a relationship has declined from 61% to 50%. In 2018, 28% of men ages 18 to 30 reported they'd had no sex in the past year, compared with 18% of women of that age. The Hill report said men in their 20s are more likely. The Hill report said 50%. 18 to 30 reported.
Now let's go. That's something that is rather troubling. Okay, that this is very very troubling. Okay, because the thing about it is, what this is saying is, it's men that are going on in this age group 18 to 30 that are going on year-long basically sex droughts. Now, some of these men in this group are definitely incel, you would consider incels, but you got some men that's just going on long droughts where they go an entire year where they're not getting no action. So that's over 1/4 of men in that age group, 18 to 30, that just basically not getting no action in a year period. Now, this is, some people, you could say 2020, yeah, it was troubling because of COVID and all. No, this is from 2018. This is a 2018 survey. So this is rather alarming. Like I said, sex for women, sexual access for women is easier than it is for men. So yeah, this is not good.
They'd had no sex in the past year, compared with 18% of women of that age. The Hill report said men in their 20s are more likely than women in their 20s to be romantically uninvolved, sexually dormant, friendless, and lonely. They stand at the vanguard of an epidemic of declining marriage, sexuality, and relationships that afflicts all of young America. Among the causes, among the factors, a reliance on social media and
Let me say this also. This is from 18 to 30. This also begs the question, and you don't even have to beg the question. Is other age groups also having slumps, also having issues? And I can tell you, yes. It might be a different rate as far as compared to the 18 to 30, but I'm gonna hands down tell you, you could say from 30 to 40, or even 30 to 45, you definitely have men that are having some issues and are, you know, going through different ways to struggles trying to date and mate in America. You can even see some of those people in the manosphere. Here's what I'll say. Now, I ain't having no like year-long slumps or no shit like that, but it ain't coming like, you know what I'm saying, like it was when I was in my 20s. And I'm not gonna say that I really go out and get women like that, because I mean, you know, I got children and responsibilities and shit, and I don't really move around like I did when I was in my 30s and 20s. But the thing is that yeah, it was a lot easier, definitely, when I was in that age group versus you know, how these young people now probably have it. Because here's the thing, and when I was 18 years old, it was no social media. Social media was the it wasn't even no MySpace when I was 18. Okay, you had basically AOL dial up. I used to talk to women on AOL dial up, pretty much like you know, 56K fax modem. You know, like if I was on the phone in my dorm room at the time, it wasn't even a dorm room, it was an apartment. If I was on the phone using the modem, people weren't able to get no calls. You know what I'm saying? Like it was no social media. People, it was no social media influencers. You know, if you wanted to show your ass or whatever, or shake your ass on the internet, you had to send somebody a video, and it was like it took forever to send, and it was damn near impossible because you couldn't send it over a period of time that was reasonable. It would to download one song took like hours, if not most of a day. To download an entire album sometimes took like 2 or 3 days, if you could even do it, if you had enough bandwidth to do it, because the internet was really, really slow for the average person. So I say all of that to say that being social was more of a thing that you had to do. You had to go to parties, you had to go out, you had to leave your house if you wanted to meet women. Internet is pretty much, it was still really, really brand new. You had people that were meeting people, but then you had people that were very, very scared to meet people. Like it was like you gonna meet an axe murderer if you met somebody on the internet in 1999. You know, I'm just saying that's just how it was. But fast forward to now, that is common for people to meet each other on the internet. And I ain't gonna lie, like getting out your skin and actually meeting people in public and talking to people is becoming kind of like even strange. Like if you talk to women on the street now, they're shocked because they're not used to that. They're used to ignoring men in their DM, you asking them, for their number or whatever. It's like they just get shocked. Like I remember like asking a chick in a grocery store. She was like shocked, like damn, because it's like human interaction is becoming more rare. People are talking to each other more on the internet.
Online porn. But also, more young women are hooking up with each other or dating and marrying slightly older men, and heterosexual women are getting more choosy. Other troubling statistics.
Basically, what he's saying is he can't say everything he want to say on CNN. He has to give the very, very PG version. What he's saying is, this is what he's saying. Older men are like this. Can I get to the news? Sweet yes. And they got money, like I said, like you got these sugar daddy sites. Okay, you got men that make money. Like you got guys, man, that's 55 plus, even 45 plus. They already figured out how to make it in the world. They know what to do, how to do it, when to do it, where to go, and everything. They know what to drive. They have houses. They have, some of them even have investment properties. They have a career or some type of business flow to where they're making money. They're making over six figures, if not almost $1 million, if not $1 million. They have it. They have 401ks. They have pensions, some of them, and retirement, PTO, all of that. And yeah, they'll pay a young chick $1,500 a month to be their sugar baby. Like it's some men that are okay with that, and they have that arrangement. They'll pay a chick, $200 every time they want to have sex, and all kind of crazy shit is going on. You got the shadow world that goes on where people meet and have orgies and shit. It's all kind of stuff going on. And old guys, they'll also probably be more acceptable and less scary to hop on a flight and go somewhere else. Whereas younger men might be more wary of all of that and definitely ain't trying to pay. Older guys, they ain't got no problem paying. These women, they like having money. They like getting gifts and all that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? It's very, very hard to compete with a millionaire that is going to, pretty much give you access to a charge card and or give you an allowance. It's very, very difficult for an average man to compete with that. Not saying that you want to, but it's just food for thought.
Statistics about men come from a 2021 study from the Survey Center for American Life. They found the share of men who have 6 or more close friends, which in 1990 was 55%, by 2021 had shrunk by half.
I'm going to tell you why I dropped the bomb on this. If you've been really, really listening to me for years, like years, I've said when it comes to like pretty much like let's just say courting women, believe it or not, one of your biggest allies is friends. your friends are your biggest allies for you getting laid. Like that's why the whole concept of the wingman. Like I mean, even I mean, like I say, I gotta say it again. Shout out to cousin Tito. Okay, if you don't know who that is, look it up. Look on YouTube. Put in cousin Tito. If you having problems, man, with trying to navigate, the world as far as like women and dating and mating and all that stuff, kind of want a glimpse into kind of what goes on outside of the eyes of the public, let's just say. He's a perfect outlet for that. The thing is that here's the deal. He talks a lot about being a wingman. I mean, he even calls himself the wingman, right? You need, in many cases, a wingman when it comes to going out, because women, they go out with a crew of women. When you have like one or two guys and y'all both going out, it's very much y'all can, it's been many cases where I went out with my guys, and we just joined forces, and it turns out to be like a triple date or a double date or whatever, or it just even puts a presence of where, okay, you got an entire court with you, you got some men with you, and you got like you're like a force to be reckoned with. You also have different options. The other party, the female, the other females might like your friend. Y'all can pretty much like, he gets the number, and then next thing you know, you get with her friend at a later time. All kind of other concepts are involved. Like it just, I ain't gonna lie to you. I have been solo out here, just as far as like in my, definitely when I was younger, and I've gotten women, but when I was with my friends, especially one of my friends from high school, oh my god, like you want to talk about like an increase as far as like meeting women and stuff like that. Because see, here's the thing, here's the deal. You're either an introvert or an extrovert a lot of times. See, this goes into psychology, goes into personalities and stuff like that. If you're an introvert, and then you also have, this is weird, you have people that are also introverts as well as extroverts. I'm one. I really prefer to be introverted. I really I love peace and quiet, solitude to even be exact. A lot of times, I mean, it's very, very, very cool and calming for me. But extrovert, like I'm also extroverted. I can be around other people. I can go to a party, or could go to a social venue, especially if I'm around people that I kind of get along with and stuff. I'm totally extroverted when I'm around a particular party of people or whatever. Well, you have some guys that are more extroverted, but then you got men that are and women that are extroverted first, but they also introverted. Well, my homie was kind of the opposite of me. He's a Capricorn. He was an extroverted introvert. So he actually liked talking to people. He talked to strangers. He talked to women first, out the jump, just, just japper jaws when it comes to like going at women. Like you just, what I'm saying, being fierce, and I'll just be laid back in the cut waiting for, him to work his magic. And then next thing you know, he got the friend, I got the other friend. I mean, I gotta play something to just remind you guys, like, you thinking you're not understanding, what I'm saying, nature. Like when you understand nature, you understand that pretty much more of what concepts are when it comes to things. Um, when you are, I'm not gonna play a video because basically, I remember one time I played a video of a lion, and I got a flag for that. So I'm not gonna play that, but I'll just say this: in a pride of lions, you have a lot of times you have more than one male. Okay, that's basically what I'm getting at. I'm not saying your man gotta be, sleeping with your chick too, but basically, man, when you are trying to meet another, woman or whatever, it's helpful when you have some friends to go along with. But as this is saying, there's also an issue with people are kind of being more alone, being more loners, and not having that many friends, which I can understand. Sometimes people are, can be kind of combative and can be kind of like, fucked up, and then you just really don't want to talk to them. I understand that wholeheartedly.
Meanwhile, those with literally zero close friends, which stood at 3% in 1990, has zoomed to 15%. An expert quoted by The Hill said this disconnect can have catastrophic consequences for young men. Quote, in the worst case scenario, the young American man's social disconnect can have tragic consequences. Young men commit suicide at 4 times the rate of young women. Younger women are largely responsible for rising rates of mass shootings, a trend that some researchers link to their growing social isolation.
So this becomes a serious issue. Um, Let me see here. So so these are some of the faces of the most notable mass shooters. Like, I mean, these are just some of the faces. And I'll say that some of these people, like, they try to put propaganda on the internet, and you'll literally see where they're really trying to push the narrative. They try to, because they don't really want to show who actually were shooting, like these mass shooting events, that happened or whatever. They really do not want to show exactly like who was shooting who. Um, what I'll say is, I'll go back just to, for the sake of time, to kind of zero in on these shootings. Okay. I will say that if you want to, okay, what you first have to define what a mass shooting is. And in a mass shooting, I would say is definitely more than 3 or 4, or let's just say 4 people. Yeah, you could definitely put a lot of people in that regard. Okay. You could put a lot of people in that regard. race unabated. Because in Chicago, there's a mass shooting quite often. In any given time, there's a mass shooting like out. It could be every damn day. It depends. Multiple times a day. 4 or more people shot in one incident, right? But they don't really make a deal about it because I won't say as far as what I think they don't make a big deal about it is because it happens so often, and then also because of the perpetrators happen to be a particular race. I'll say that. But what you find as far as who the mass shooters are, is basically like, for example, these people. I know in my head exactly like all of the most notable mass shootings that has happened. The most recent being, I would say, it's so many of them, but I would say the most recent that is fresh off of uh you guys is probably mine is the Buffalo supermarket shooting. And I want to just we want to profile this and actually kind of see who these people, what they look like, if they probably were getting laid or not, based off of how they look. Are they select, non-select, right? I mean, basically, you could tell this guy is not the cat's meow. Okay, he ain't look like he was knocking him back. This guy was 18. He got nationalized by some white supremacist groups, and he decided to go in a black supermarket and kill these individuals here. Quite a few black elderly black women, and of course the security guard that's involved there. I mean, this guy. I mean, to me, like, this is a thing. Like, guys like this, they get with the wrong people. See, a guy like this, if he got pretty much radicalized by some people that like work out and shit, like go to the gym a lot and like they get toned and shit like that. And you know, kind of like different guys that talk about how to, you know, self-improve your life and do better and basically you know, get better results in your life. It'd probably be a different story. You know what I'm saying? But these guys get involved and they get, you know, hooked with these groups. And the groups ain't gonna help them get laid. They just gonna help them go to prison, you know, and face the death penalty because, you know, you wanna shoot, you know, shoot people up. Now let's go to the other incident that comes to mind. Texas school shooting. I don't remember the actual like the town. I think it was like Uvalde or something like that. Like, this is another one. You know, guy just basically having problems, getting made fun of and stuff. Thus again, you know, self-improvement, doing 100 push-ups a day, 10 starting off with 10, you know, talking to some gym bros. You know, I mean, like, literally, I'm laughing, but I'm dead ass serious. Like, you know what I'm saying? The whole thing is, it's easy to be this. It's easy. It's easy to be basically,
yeah. Beta.
It's easy. Even below, these guys ain't even beta. These are basically omega males and zeta males. They're the worst. Like, they're bums, like sleeping on their dad's couch, mom's couch, not making it in society. They're not even beta males. They're pretty much zeta and omega males. If you don't know what that is, it's on my channel. But these men are basically just because they can't get what they think they want out of society, you know what I'm saying? Society only gives to you what you deserve. Unfortunately, you eat what you kill. If you don't kill it, you ain't eating. That's how nature is. And unfortunately, in order to eat, you gotta be a savage. In order to be a savage, you gotta tap within. You gotta be, you know that motherfucker. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta drop down. If you're not blessed, like to with muscles and all that shit, you gotta drop down. You gotta put that work in the gym. You know, you gotta motherfucking be that man. Like once you realize that you gotta sharpen yourself and you gotta get with men to sharpen yourself, that's when you realize that I gotta be that man. I gotta be that man for myself. I gotta be that man that, you know, also others want to be around. And that's the hardest part, especially if you born, you know, basically kind of looking like a peon. If you notice these guys they basically look like peons, you know, and then they get radicalized by other people that say, oh yeah, to blame these people. Not the fact that I'm a peon, that I just want to play video games all day and just be a peon. Not do no push-ups, eating snacks, playing video games. That you get what you put out. I mean, basically, other than this, there's other women that are peons just like you are. You know, you got women that are also femcells. They play video games and do other goofy shit. You can get with them chicks and have a blast. But a lot of these guys want more than what they actually think that they deserve. And then unfortunately, when they don't get it, they get real fucked up. They get pissed off at the world. And then also they get pissed off because they're not able to get out of society what they want. I guarantee you it wasn't just about, you know, getting no box with these guys. It was about, you know, they probably didn't like working at McDonald's or wanted to work at McDonald's or was tired of working low wage jobs or didn't want to work low wage jobs. They want everything right now. You know, I bet you that's also the issue with these guys. If you interview these guys, I'm pretty sure it's also an issue. And then your good old, you know, mental illness is also a situation. But some of these guys, they say they don't want to be called. They weren't mentally ill. They did this exactly what they wanted to do, and that's that. Okay, let's see. It's so many shootings. What's the next shooting that comes to mind? You know, Highland Park, right? Highland Park, right? Same thing, peon. What you just, you know? I mean, this dude looked like he got damn near a face deformity. Almost kind of got the Beetlejuice, the Beetlejuice waiting room kind of look. If you ever saw Beetlejuice, you know it's kind of like if you understand if you saw Beetlejuice, you already understand what I'm saying. It's an old 80s movie with let's see where I was just looking at it. This is Beetlejuice. So yeah, dude that I forgot his name that just had the court case with his ex-wife, the shit on his bed. Yeah, so the thing is that yeah, I mean what pretty much and then you also got Beetlejuice, the dude that used to be on Howard Stern as well. You got like that's a deformity or something, like where your face is real small and it shrinks like that. I don't know what that shit called, but yeah. I mean, you can see the whole peon look. I mean, if you're a peon, you can still get laid and have a good life being a peon. Even having a small head, you know. It's not, you don't have to go out and shoot people, man. You know what I'm saying? But this is what these guys do, unfortunately. And then I mean, of course you got the North Carolina Baptist church shooter. I don't Dylan Roof. His thing was real severe. He was into the white supremacists to the max. He was into the Rhodesian Civil War, Zimbabwe Civil War. Like he was following them guys. South African Bush War and shit. This motherfucker was in the trenches with the nationalism. And then, I mean, the same shit, peons, radicalized peons. And it's a lot of them. I mean, I'd have to say I even work with some of these guys, man. I don't know one day to the next if they're gonna bring a gun in. You know what I'm saying? It could be any day. These guys are just basically they go get radicalized and then basically they take it to the max because it's easy. They're not getting laid. I'm gonna tell you something. It even goes into the Islamic world. A lot of the guys that get chose to blow themselves up, a lot of those guys are poor and they're not getting laid. So that what they do is they'll pay the family to get blown up, and then when they die, their family gets some money. They get an honorable death. They die a martyr or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's really not that much difference other than it's an act of war. But I mean, these guys kind of do the same thing. So yeah, I mean, you get the whole like makeup, like you get the whole peon look. The other another case, the last peon was the Utah shooter. Same. He was going around, asking people all kind of shit. Utah, it'd be going down in Utah. I gotta put campus shooter because I mean it's shootings all over the place, man. Oh no, that was Idaho. That was Idaho. Yeah, this guy, same thing. I mean, he kind of looks like he one of those guys off NBC or something, like one of those sitcoms or something. He still looked like a peon, but kind of like he could fit in. That's probably why he was in the party. You know what I'm saying? He kind of fit in or whatever. Let me go back because they also be having they be having it where it's harder to search for stuff. But here's the thing, man. Thus again, I mean, same thing. Not a lot of money, not a lot of life success. And one of some of these guys, this guy, he actually attacked women themselves. He kind of similar to, it's another guy that Ellen Roger Curry used to talk about a lot. That shot up he shot up gym. What's the name of that dude that shot up that gym? It was he had a manifesto too. It goes back like a long time ago. He didn't have sex for like years. this dude. Let me see here. Is this guy? Does this look like an old? I know the name of it if I could find. I know the name of the guy if I could find it. Let me see here. Let's see here. Oh man. I'm gonna put early 2000s. Let's see here. Then of course you got the Columbine shooters. Okay, the Columbine shooters basically. You got those guys. I know the name of that shooter. It's on the tip of on the cusp. I cannot think of it for the life of me. Because I really wasn't in. I didn't even really. I don't know if I was following that news story or what was happening in my life when that went down. I really don't know the name of that shooter, and I can't think of it, but it was something that Alan Roger Curry used to talk a lot about when he used to talk about violent incels and whatnot. But yeah, as you can see, I mean, yeah, it's going down, you know. It's a lot of it's going to be more mass shootings. Guys are getting upset and they striking at whoever they think is the reason they're upset, you know.
Well, those words reminded me of a conversation that I had over a year ago right here on CNN with NYU professor Scott Galloway.
But the issue is when you have a group of men, the lower half of attractiveness of men and online dating, which has doubled, now it's about half of relationships. And the top 20% of men in terms of attractiveness get about 60% of the interest. You end up with a group of men that are more prone to conspiracy theory, more prone to misogynistic content, more prone to not believe in climate change. So this is the American story. If it's written with a pen whose ink is failing young men, does not end well. This is an existential crisis, failing young men.
As always, Professor Galloway was prescient. Back with me now is Scott Galloway. He's a professor of marketing at NYU Stern School of Business. He's a serial entrepreneur. He's the host of the Professor G podcast and author of multiple bestsellers.
If you ain't know, like I picked up on this. I just picked up on this. Okay, let me take my logo away. Dude in Tulum, Mexico. Okay, he said, okay, he is doing an interview from Mexico. He gets it. He totally gets the hey, you know, I can't win in this fucker. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the man. Even I'm a fucking whole professor. Out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it is what it is. You know, I mean, some guys just, you know, they can't necessarily get what they want in this motherfucker. And there's some guys that can. And not every dude is gonna win in America. They're not gonna be, you know, pretty much getting the women that they want or even getting the outcomes that they want as fast as they want. So they just be like, fuck it, you know. So, I mean, the thing is that that's one thing I noticed, but let me play this some more.
Selling books, most recently, Adrift, America in 100 Charts. Scott, thanks for returning. Hasn't the advantage always been to those with the looks and or the money? What's changed?
First off, Mike, I just want to say thank you for raising this issue a year ago when a lot of media companies were afraid to talk about this for fear of it being pro-men with somehow being anti-women. Look, this is returning to the natural order of things. For the majority of history, a small percentage of men have had the majority of the mating opportunities. But in America, we decided to make a huge investment.
He sounds kind of like, okay, he's an NYU professor, but he sounds like he is very, very topped, like lock, stop, and barrel in the manosphere as far as what he, the kind of whole 80. He's talking about the 80-20 rule, basically. He sounds exactly like it.
And what would probably be the greatest innovation in history, and that is in the middle class. From 1945 to 1947, 7 million men returned from war, were discharged from the service, and we decided to give them the GI Bill, subsidized mortgages. We saw education rates go from 5 to 45%. They were valued, and we had such a strong manufacturing base that you had massive marriage and household formation. And some men were seen as more economically and emotionally viable. And you've seen the reverse happen with the offshoring of much of our manufacturing base, with a society that quite frankly doesn't value young men. When we talk about problems with people of color or women, we see it as a systemic societal problem. When we see problems or the stats that you just mentioned, we see it as accountability, or that men just need to level up. But married,
he's definitely in the manosphere spaces. I mean, he's literally just verbatim talking the same talking points. But the whole I pretty much, I was talking about the baby boomers a few days ago, and yeah, I mean, those days are not coming back. The thing is that this situation is a culture-based issue, obviously, and it's also, I'd have to say, it's not just based off of how things were in the 1940s or 1950s or anything like that. Here's the deal. And I just got a ride back from I was taking an Uber, and I was talking to a young lady that was about 35, black woman. And I pretty much asked her, I was like, are you single or married? She's like, I'm single and the men are not acting right or whatever. And I definitely asked her more in detail what was that about. But I told her, I was like, basically, because this is what I think, and it's not necessarily something that has not been said, but there's a lot of societal pressure. Okay. I would even say it's universal pressure. Like, it is something going on in the universe. I can't really explain what's going on in the universe, but there's something going on as far as certain pressures that is kind of coming down to the atmosphere. I might be going a little tinfoil here, but there's a lot of pressure to make it in society, from working 9 to 5s, keeping up with everything as far as bills, as far as having your basically daily needs met, right? Having a roof over your head, having transportation, the basic stuff, like, right? And then even the beyond the basic stuff, right? That's a lot of pressure, right? For a lot of people to come up with, to keep up with. Even people that make more than the average person, which is $40,000 a year, they're under a lot of pressure. And like they said, I mean, it's a lot of men are committing, they're checking out, and committing suicide. I don't have no problem saying that. Like, I really don't. Like, I don't know what the whole that's for them to say, but I don't have any problem saying that because it is happening. Because in my opinion, there's a lot of pressure going on. Okay, one, we're having geopolitical wars going on as we speak. That's the obvious. Okay, we are lock, stock, and barrel as far as this country supplying, Ukraine with military supplies that are literally killing Russian personnel, military personnel. That is it. That is exactly what is going on. In other Western, allies or whatever are also arming the Ukrainians, and it's a buffer. It's basically a buffer for from Russia to not cross Ukraine and head to the west. China is also connected to them. They are an ally to Russia, obviously, right? There's hot spots all across the world. Also, China is very much emerged as economic power base because China has a lot of wealth right now. Basically, from manufacturing to the world, they manufacture to the entire world and still do to this day, and they made money off of that. They, basically made a lot of money off of that, and they have the purse, right? Like they literally have the purse. They have a lot of money. United States is declining economically. China is emerging, and they also have more of a population. These are stressors that trickle down to everybody. Okay, that's just one. Okay, we're coming from a COVID outbreak that's killed over 700,000 people. People are still trying to find some normality from what happened. Is still happening till today. Like, people are still getting sick from COVID. People are still wearing masks. They don't feel safe not wearing a mask. It's a lot of stressors that I can feel. Like I told this lady, I could feel it, and I'm a strong dude. I'm a warrior, and I could feel this pressure. And she agreed. She was like, she started yapping, like telling her story, and she was talking to her friend and shit like that. And it's like, man, I mean, she pretty much verbatim co-signed what I was saying. Like, it's a lot of fucking pressure out here. Like, she was telling me about her car breaking down too, and she had to do all kind of other stuff, and somebody was using her account to file taxes for a couple years and shit. Just all kind of shit. Like, and it's like, the thing is that, like I said, those are just one thing, a few things that are happening, all of this stuff, all of these, you can even talk about it biblically, these wars and rumors of wars. It is a lot of pressure, and the average everyday person is feeling that. And then in the United States, you have a wealth inequality that is insurmountable. So it is very, very difficult to navigate that every day. I myself, I'm not necessarily in a bad position. I mean, I still think that I have a lot of catch up to do, but the average person is paying rent or a mortgage and car payments. They don't have they have catch up to do by proxy of the current bills that they have. They don't have any time. You have a lot of people that are, day to day, week to week, facing evictions, foreclosures. This shit is very, very much a high pressured situation that a lot of people are trying to deal with. Not everybody is able to deal with this pressure the way a lot of other people are able to deal with it. I am very much able to deal with pressure, but even pressure on me is very, very difficult. And I'm a military trained, Chicago trained warrior. And I can feel this shit. So I know the average everyday person, including the children that I have, as well as children in general, are definitely feeling this crunch and this pressure. And it's pretty, it's a lot of pressure.
Households and household formation are better citizens. They vote, they save at twice the rate, they're less likely to commit crimes, and we have fewer and fewer viable men. We have a dearth of economically and emotionally viable men. But the middle class is an accident. Unless you invest in it, it doesn't happen. Eisenhower decided to invest $500 billion in a national highway project that created tons of jobs. We have, and by the way, the tax rate back then was 91%. We raised money and we redistributed in social programs that made young people more economically viable.
And then, Scott, you toss in the influence of social media and how relationships today, they don't come from, in our era, happenstance and mingling, right? They come from swiping, and that further accelerates this issue. Am I right?
Oh, it's been the chaser to it. I mean, to have an honest conversation about this, we have to be honest, and that is that men and women have different mating criteria. One quarter of men saying economic viability is a key criteria in a mate. 3/4 of women say that is important. And when you're on a two-dimensional format, where now it's 1 and 2 relationships begin online, it used to be 1 and 4 just a few years ago, it gets distilled down to a small number of criteria. Specifically for men, it's does she look attractive? And specifically for men, is he able to signal his ability to garner resources in the future? An average attractive male on Tinder gets swiped less than 1% of the time. And there's 3 men on Tinder for every 1 woman. So you've distilled it, you've taken out one of the key components of mating dynamics, and that is vibe, humor, body language, pheromones, the ability to be, quite frankly, a little bit persistent in the pursuit of a romantic.
Message.
What he's saying is correct. Totally correct. I mean, obviously. This is why I don't date or try to date or find a date on the internet like that. Like as far as like all of the dating apps. I said a while back that I'm ditching the dating apps. Check it out. Like I was one of many that millions of men that stopped using dating apps and shit like that. Because see, here's the thing, and this is what you fall for. Even guys that even try to DM chicks on social media, the woman that you're trying to engage with on the internet, she doesn't get how you look in person. She doesn't get, like he's saying, your vibe, your personality, your jokes that you crack, how tall you are. They absolutely have no idea what you are. Like most guys do not present themselves well on social media, on their page and all of that. And even if, like all things considered, there's no like for the average guy, there's no way that a woman knows exactly who you are by a social media page or a freaking picture on a few pictures or several pictures or whatever from some type of dating profile. They don't know what you're like in person or whatever. they judge that profile and judge wrong. Because see, here's the thing, right? If everything was going right and everything was peachy for women, right? And then just say men were just sucking, okay? The statistics would show that, right? The statistics would show that more women are getting married, more women are having successful relationships, and everything under the sun. The statistics are not saying that. The statistics are not showing that. All you have to do is go outside in the world and see the chaos of, basically the children, all right? And then also the complaints. You don't even have to really go outside. You hear the complaints. All of these, so the stats are saying, okay, yeah, women are reporting only 34% single, but they're not showing happiness in mass on social media from the men that they're even choosing. And obviously some of them are having children and they're complaining about that. So it's like, basically the thing is that these women are not necessarily happy themselves. They just have different ways to show it. But the thing is when it comes down to it, what they're doing is they're not choosing well. That's basically what's happening. They're not choosing well. A long time ago, the father had the ultimate choice. It was typically a situation where if a woman was basically seeing a guy, she was going to bring her dad, the guy that she was seeing. The dad will get a final approval, and then, they can go live happily ever after. That was how it was. Um, then, basically things transpired to, the 60s, 70s, welfare and all this other stuff, single motherhood and no fault divorce and all that crap, right? So where basically the man is not in the household, he's not even in the decision making process even more. So women are choosing, and what's happening is they're not choosing wisely in mass. So they're choosing based off of how good they can get nutted in, how good they can come, how often they can come, how fast they can come. Also how good the guy makes them feel. And the result of that is not necessarily them living their best life. They ultimately, the worst happens or whatever, they have a child or have children, multiple children with the guy that makes them nut really good. And then they're unhappy because he cannot really provide for her, and she's got to, like, that was what the chick that was basically dropping me off in the Uber was talking about. She gets with men that are having issues providing. Basically, that's what she was complaining about. But the thing is this, that's what's happening. They're getting with men that kind of can make them feel good and get them off, but they're totally oblivious to the whole, does he have a very good job? Does he know how to keep a job? Does he know how to maintain his business properly? Does he know how to, this is advanced. Does he know how to invest well? Like, they totally throwing that out the window. And then here's the thing, I get it. Money does not make you come, but it does give you a good life when it comes to capitalism. Because see, unfortunately, you can't go to your landlord and be like, you know what? Here's the good time that I had last night or the week before. Here it goes. At the least, if your landlord is a man, he's gonna want to have a good time. And you give him a good time, and he may take that rent away. you know what I'm saying, for a month or two, or work out some arrangement. But you can't take you can't take your good time to pay for your rent or mortgage, and your mortgage company ain't gonna pay for ain't gonna ain't gonna care about you offering something strange for a chunk of change. Bank of America don't give a fuck about how good you make niggas come or make dudes come, whatever the case may have you. They want that mortgage payment. So that is what, you know, pretty much is going on. And a lot of women are choosing very, very bad. Now it is some women that are choosing very well. Some get educated. Okay, you know, they get what they follow chicks or read books and you know, get game themselves. Because some women actually, they get gamed up too. Like they're totally dumb, you know, about a lot of things, and then they, you know, read some books, do the same thing men do. They join women's channels and join women's groups and whatever, and they get gamed up, and they realize, oh, it was me fucking up. I was choosing this, and you know, damn, I was just choosing my pussy over my brain. You know, damn, okay. I was going insane. Let me let me get myself together and you know what I'm saying, try to get things up. That's what he was talking about with the whole level up thing. Some women are, that's working for them. Then you got some women that's not working for them, because the whole April Mason, her complaining about you know, the women that she's been coaching, how they want unrealistic outcomes with based off of what they're putting in and what they bring to the table. Then you got the other chick, she's also kind of was in the dating coach. I forgot her name, but she was saying the same thing, that these women were, she got out of dating coaching, and she actually has a TV pilot, I think I heard last on a cable show. Rebecca Lynn Pope. Yeah, she, same thing. She was complaining about basically the same thing. Women want unrealistic outcomes based off of what they have and bring to the table, and you know, wanting a certain type of guy, and you know, she's looking at them like, even 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 I have an issue getting the guys that you want, and you think that you can get those guys. And it's like, you know, she had to get out of that business because she was dealing with unsatisfied customers of women wanting some unrealistic value that she couldn't deliver. Because that's one thing I have to say, as far as like, this guy is a professor of marketing. One thing I have to tell you about business, one thing about women, a lot of times when it comes to sales, women tend to want more value than what they actually want to pay for. Like, I mean, they just want miracles a lot of times. Like, a lot of times I have to like really talk to my, like, when I used to have my computer shop, I used to have to really talk to women, some of the women customers that I had, and primarily most of my customers were black. Okay, so the thing is that I would have to really tell them, okay, this is what you expect, this is what you're gonna get, this is the outcome that's gonna happen, and I'd have to really, really let them know what was going on, because they would just want like almost perfection, based off of the little amount that they wanted to spend, you know. So that is something women really, really, they want value. If you know what I'm saying, they sticklers about that. A lot of women are like that. But let me continue this video. Let's
Romantic relationship. We have no third places anymore, no places to meet. People aren't going to bars, they aren't sports league, they aren't going to church, they aren't even going to work. So it gets distilled.
Message.
So this is what I was thinking about. You know, he's right at home. Okay, Basically, I was thinking about, okay, this one of these articles that I was reading was about the decline in religious values or whatever. I believe I basically uh so this is primarily a Christian country, okay? And yeah, it's my cat, man. He's complaining. Um this is it's something that's going on in this country where the religious values are shrinking, and it's no substitute for it. And it kind of goes into back to savagery. It's a de-evolving. What I notice is a de-evolving in America, where basically people are going to basically get it how you live. Believe in self. Kind of like the No Church in the Wild song. Like, people are going into savagery and kind of get it how you live, might is right type of thing. So this is basically what a Pew Research poll right here, as far as, not even a poll, well, yeah, it's a survey. And basically people that don't have any religion, they're basically going from being Christians to not having a religion is spiking downward. People are basically not religious anymore. And this is where this is important. Okay. And this is also a poll. U.S. Christians projected to fall below 50% of the population. And they're saying 2070. I mean, yeah, probably won't be here most likely, but it's saying it's gonna be like, they're saying it's gonna be possibly between 54% to 35%, as far as the population. But right now, as of 2020, they're saying it's like 64%. But see, here's the thing. This is why this is important. This also, the old people already know what the fuck I'm going with. Anybody over the age of probably 25 know where I'm going with this. Where's a good place to meet? They say. Wait, hold on. Give me some time. Hold on. I gotta play this. Here. I gotta play this here. Give me some time. Let me see if I can find this scene. Let me see. Let me see. Okay. Let me see if I can find this scene here. Hold on. Shit. Let me see here. Hold on. This is Coming to America. Hold on, let me see. Give me just a second. Let me see if I can find this classic of a scene here. No, that's not it. See, here's the thing. Like, I mean, basically, if you are, you know what I'm saying, even if you probably, I'm gonna be honest with you, even if you theoretically was not part of the church or whatever. It's one of the best places to meet women. Is at the church. That's where people used to get, find their wife. There's one of many places where pretty much men used to find their wife, and then if you're not going to church, that just excludes an option that is no longer an option because you're not utilizing it. And I'm not gonna say what you should do or shouldn't do. I'm not gonna necessarily say that you got to do this and got to do that or whatever, But I'm just saying, for the sake of argument, if let's just say you did grow up a Christian and you no longer a Christian, right? You went to church or whatever, even if you didn't go to church, if you took that out of the table, that is an option. Like you could say the grocery store, right? The grocery store is an option as far as meeting women. If you took those options off, either one of those options off of the table, right? You basically you're making it that much difficult as far as if you wanted to find a viable mate. That's all I'm saying. Like and when it comes to that situation, you're not that's just one less option for you to use, is finding somebody at the church. I mean, even me, like I used to go to church at one time, and I lucked up a little bit on the church side of the game, and you know what I'm saying? It's like it is a place where you can meet a woman in this country, and it was like that traditionally. And when you take that off of the table, that just makes it that much more of difficulty. That makes more sense that men are not, basically finding mates and having problems and shit like that. Just makes it much more of an issue, So, I was trying to find the scene where, basically he was like, wait, hold on, where you know what I'm saying, like the before church scene, but nah, this is the best one I could come up with. So hold on, let me play this just for all things considered,
I didn't come here to preach to you today. But when I look at these contestants for the Miss Black Awareness pageant, I feel good. I feel good because I know there's a God somewhere. There's a God somewhere. Turn around, ladies, for me, please. You know there's a God who sits on high and looks down low. Man cannot make it like this. Larry Flint, Hugh Hefner, they can take the picture, but they can't make it. Only God above, the Hugh Hefner on high, can make it for you.
Apparently, these are the best women Queens has to offer. Pick one and let's go home.
You can call his name.
Be patient, my friend.
Lord. Do you love him? Do you feel joy? Say joy.
Joy.
Joy! Joy! Can I get an amen? Don't be ashamed to call his name.
Yes, Lord.
Only God can give that woman the kind of joy she had right there. Make a joyful noise unto the Lord.
I am very happy to be here.
Amen. Amen. Yes, sir. Can I get an amen? Yes. I don't know what you come to do, but I come to praise his name. Lord, Lord.
Message.
So yeah, I mean, basically, like I said, I mean, it's just one less option to choose from, unfortunately. And yeah, I mean, even you can even say economically, that's how people used to, you know, sell to each other past business ideas. Even also, you know, some churches was like kind of give people loans and stuff, I heard, and stuff like that. So if you're not utilizing that, I mean, it's like like I said, it just makes it that much more difficult. I'm just saying, that's not an option on the table. It's not another not option. If you just say, you know what, I'm not going to be in any religion that, you know, basically is an organization or anything like that, right? You not basically, it's nowhere where you can go to meet people that at least once a week or whatever. You just take that out the table. It just makes it that much more difficult. Just saying.
Down to very one or two dimensional attributes. And the reality is women are much choosier than men, and they can apply those screens, and they allocate all of their attention to a small number of men that results in just essentially at the end of the day, a lack of opportunities. Chris Williams summarized it perfectly. He called it the high heels effect. In the last 40 years, more women have graduated from college than men, and they're not interested in mating with non-college grads. They now own more homes, single women than single men. So what you have is women say they won't date anyone shorter than them, 50% of them. Effectively, what you have metaphorically over the last 40 years is women have been getting taller and taller, and men have been getting shorter and shorter.
Okay, so here's the deal. This is why, you know, you kind of have to have steadfastness, and you gotta, you know, basically just not worry too much, right? Not concern yourself even too much. Work on yourself, work on your problems. Go to travel. My man is in Mexico. Mr. You know, Professor Young is in or this guy, this professor of marketing. He's not even in the United States at this point. He's in Mexico. You know, travel a little bit. You know, save some money one time out the year. Just save $1,000, and you know, definitely get your passport. Just travel somewhere. Like go to Mexico, or go to somewhere, you know, Puerto Rico or something like that, Hawaii or something. And then just for starters, just to see what it's like outside of the United States, like just, you know, somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even my cat, man, I gotta get him a little female cat, man. You know, he's coming of age. But the thing is that, yeah, when these women get older, they get less and less choosy. You know, come on. They get less and less choosy, and then next thing you know, basically whatever they didn't like, they'll like anything. When women get past the age of 35 and really like 40, they'll get with a bum with semen. I swear to God. When you get older, you start to see all kind of shit, man. You be like, wow, okay, yeah, you want, okay, you take a middle note, you could take a mental note, a video. Oh, this is what you want at 27. Come check on them in 37 if they ain't already got that. Some of the women you see on dating profiles, they still got the same dating profiles up. And then periodically they go back to them. And then you like, wow, okay, you still want that? Well, now I just want I just want a guy that just, we just see each other, every now and again, and you know, we just go half on stuff whenever we get a chance to, like them options is good because they think they have the options right now. But when those options start dwindling, then basically they gotta get with the program and get somebody else that is, basically living. Shit, because I mean, they, ran out of all options at that point. Then you got certain women that just don't care and they just kind of like they suffer in silence, and then they put the poker face on and pretend that everything is all right. You also have that advantage where they just pretend that everything is all right, but they really suffering in silence. That's also a thing there. So let me play this some more.
How many of us have said, I know a ton of great single women, they can't find a date? That's not true. They can't find a date. They can't find a man they find economically or emotionally viable. If we don't make a massive investment in young people and make more economically and emotionally viable men, we're going to see a lack of household formation. We're going to see a decline in the middle class. And we're going to see, quite frankly, just a lot of young men who are terrible citizens.
So is the answer to fix this economically, and who will champion this conversation? You felt obliged to compliment me at the outset because we had engaged on this a year ago, and here I am revisiting it. And I read into that the fact that you think that it's politically incorrect even to have this dialogue.
When you're seen as advocating for men because of the 300,000-year head start we've had, it seems somehow as anti-female. There's a lot of very unfortunate misogyny online that is masquerading as being pro-men. A lot of TikTok celebrities who talk about advocating for men, it's just thinly veiled misogyny. What do we need? We need more freshman seats in colleges. We need a massive investment in vocational training. We need to figure out a way to get more permitting for housing so young people can afford housing. We need to recognize our economic policies literally allocate wealth from young people to old people. The percentage of wealth that young people control under the age of 40 has been cut from 12% to 6%. These are concerted, deliberate decisions. We did away with the child tax credit. We don't want to make it any easier for people to have kids, but seniors just got their largest cost of living adjustment increase in history. We have made the decision to make it harder and more expensive for people to find each other, for people to mate, and for people to have children. And without children, we turn into Japan and Italy, and that is we go into population decline and our economy goes into decline.
So, what he's talking about was like, thus again, my boomer video, or my chess video, where I was talking about the boomers. They changed all of those tax policies, obviously, from the 1940s, where they were taxing up to 90% or something like that. And of course, the wealthy went to war for that, and they won ultimately. And the tax policies are not stringent to that point where young people are getting anything, or what he's talking about is trickle down economics. It's trickle down economics is not trickling down. If anything, you could probably say that it's trickling up. But here's the thing, right? Even if I would say you've got people that are very wealthy and are having issues with dating and mating in America. I'm not going to say any names, but you have people that make over $500,000. You got people that making $250,000 and are still having issues with women in the United States. Money, even if you have more money, it does not equate to women wanting to reciprocate just because you have more money. I've never on my channel, this is, definitely a financial channel for the most part. I've never said that if you get money, you're going to automatically get women to submit and all of that stuff. I basically said, if you have your money together, yes, you can pretty much move a certain way. Like, for example, if you have a house, car paid for, you make over $100,000 a year, okay, no debt. Well, you can do certain things other people that have debt and don't make that can do. Like, you can travel. You can take a week off. You can block a week off from your job, or if you have a business, and travel. Other people can't do that. You can actually, to be honest, you can just basically, they don't want to say it on CNN, but you can basically just, if you want to have sex and you having problems, you gotta pay. I mean, I hate to say it, but some guys, a lot of younger guys don't like to just pay. Sometimes you just gotta pay to get out the slump. It's like paying a pussy bribe. I mean, I hate to tell you, but sometimes you gotta pay to play. I mean, I've had slumps and I paid to get out the slump. I don't necessarily do that now. I don't really want to do that because, see, here's the thing. It comes down to, you have to control your emotions. You have to control your penis. You gotta control your urges, because at the end of the day, here's the thing. This is from somebody that's almost middle aged. That's a man. It's a black man in America. While you wasting your time fucking around with whores and hoes and thoughts and all of that shit, the woman that you probably really, really want, if you wanted to settle down or whatever, she's out there, and you're wasting your time on these basically low lives, because you haven't controlled your lower extremities. You have to control your urges and shit like that, because if you don't have control over it, guess what? You're gonna be paying every time you get laid like it's food. Like, I'm hungry, I gotta go fix something to eat, or I gotta go buy something to eat, right? Well, you're gonna be like that when you want to have sex. You're gonna be paying every time you want to bust a nut. And I wouldn't tell nobody to pay somebody to every time you want to bust a nut. You're going to keep doing that, and you're gonna think that's cool. And then secondly, when you get a woman, you're gonna think that just because you don't have to pay anymore, you're gonna be like so enthralled with that woman, you're gonna be like just taking all kind of bullshit, being all kind of desperate, because this woman saved you from paying $100 or more from paying for sex, because you got her and you're in a relationship and you don't have to pay no more. But instead of paying $100, you're paying from getting disrespected. You're paying from all of the drama that you're putting up with, because you think you're getting free sex, but you're really paying more than what you would even pay an escort or whatever to just have sex, and then you go about your way, because you're getting disrespected. You having to bite your tongue, you having to walk on eggshells and shit like that if you get with a woman that's intolerable and stuff like that. I mean, so it all goes back to controlling your wine. You know, this, you know, having certain, if you have a certain level of sexual power, you know, you get with the right woman, the woman that you want is the woman. I'll just say this: the woman that you want is worth probably 1,000 compared to 1,000 other women that you just want to have sex with. The woman that you really, really want, the woman that you know you want when you see her, when you talk to her, that's the woman that you want. She's probably worth more than 1,000 or 10,000 other women that, you know, basically just are random chicks. You know, so it's like I'm not gonna lie to you. That was something that I struggled with when in my younger years and stuff like that. And even now, like, okay, if I'm out here fucking around, well, I'm taking time and energy away from the woman that I really want. The woman I really want, I'm gonna be already sidetracked by fucking around than getting the woman that I already want. So I mean, it's very, very difficult to, you know, kind of like stop, you know, and just, you know what I'm saying, focus and just, you know, you want to get your nut off. Men have to get their nut off. It's like, I understand that. I'm no different than any other man. I understand the urge. I get it. And the thing is that I remind myself that I have to control that. I have to control it the best way I can, and you know, not just do the things that I know that I don't want to do. And I ain't gonna lie to you. One of those is just paying just for escort and shit like that. I'm just not. I'm not I'd rather not. I know I could wait. You know, I can go out and meet somebody that I really want to meet, and, you know, go take that route. Like, trying to just have sex with random chicks that's escorts, or random chicks that I know I don't like and I know I don't have no future in. It's just not the option.
We are about to become a society by the turn of the century. There will be 8 times as many people over the age of 60 and half as many kids under the age of 5. Nursery schools will become these strange situations with old people staring through fences at these creatures they don't see in the wild called children. Is this the world we want? Do we want a lack of kids? Do we want a lack of ability to create households? The happiest, most prosperous, most purposeful people in America are middle-class families. And we have made a concerted decision to punch it in the gut and make it harder for that type of family formation. And we're going to lose prosperity and we're going to lose purpose.
I, Julian Gordon, with this mortgage, relinquish part of my freedom to Saeed.
Yeah, that came up in my algorithm because, yeah, I'm heavy in the investment real estate space. Julian Gordon is one of those guys, if you don't already know, that he champions multifamily units, house hacking, getting a multifamily unit, living in one, and having the other spaces rented out. But yeah, that was the end of that video pretty much. I've said my take on it for the most part. And the thing is that, like I said, you know, if you are out there and you kind of like struggling and shit like that, man, I mean, reach out to somebody. You can definitely reach out to me. You know, I can talk to you about, you know what I'm saying, some things and stuff like that you might, you know, can work on. You know, I ain't necessarily no dating coach. You don't have to necessarily look at me as a dating coach or whatever. I'm not trying to be a dating coach, even though I'll have to say that I have been with some of the best women on this you know, country, man. Some of my exes are judges, doctors, PhD holders. You know, I just, you know what I'm saying, I had to think about it, like, damn, I really had some some good women, man, that I was pursuing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm definitely proud of that. You know what I'm saying? And I've already been married. I've been divorced, and I've had children. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is that I've definitely already sowed my seed. I'm not necessarily saying I'm giving up, but I've sowed my seed, and I'm older. I am trying to kind of like have another family. That is something that I really kind of I wouldn't mind if I do just kind of start a family again and do it right and be with my actual wife and everything like that, and not have all the problems that I had in my previous relationship or whatever. But the thing is that that ain't for if that ain't for what you want, you want to. I mean, to be honest with you, a lot of guys, and I understand they're enjoying this collapse. they're taking advantage. They're taking advantage of the market collapse. All of these women, just running around, don't know what to do, don't know how to choose. Like, hey, baby, I know how to choose. Choose me.
Message.
Can I get to the games? Sweet games.
And I can't necessarily blame them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a lot of single women out here. You know what I'm saying? It's quite a bit. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? Why not? It's so many women out here that are single that is just collapse. This is a collapse. This is a sexual marketplace collapse. This shit is fucked up. But I mean, it's some guys is just taking advantage of the collapse. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, who am I to say that that's what guys are doing. They taking advantage of the market collapse, basically. Not every guy, obviously, as you can see from that video, is not taking advantage of the market collapse, but some are. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, basically, who am I to say, hey, don't take advantage of the market collapse? It's pros and cons to that. You know what I'm saying? The con is like this. If you're taking advantage, you know what I'm saying, you better choose wisely. You know what I'm saying? Better choose wisely.
You can't get this shit fixed. I see my That's my car. That's my car. Let's go. That's my shit.
They fucking both each other cars.
Damn. Back window. Oh, shit. Damn. Oh. Damn. Oh. Y'all probably throw the bricks at each other.